I was pulling it out. The camera was there. I'm grabbing here. My finger slipped and I caught this and it just popped off. Okay? Like that. And the camera just flew. I just watched it go off into the air and then, oh man, it was terrible. Fun fact, you can't buy this glue without getting carded. They gotta check your age. So I'm filming at 5.7K, 60 frames per second, and everything else is on auto. We're in Walmart if you wanna know what kind of lighting that is. I'm also using just the in-camera audio for this video. If you saw my short, I had a 360 pole, just like the end popped off on it. Do not buy this Braveheart brand. My goal with the Better Buy is to give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. I would say stick with the INSTA360 pole at this point. Trusting a secondary brand is a huge risk with a very expensive camera. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. I thought I was getting a good deal on that pole, and then after doing a little bit of research, it seems like most companies actually glue that last little step on. So I think the glue's just bad, and while that does mean I still wouldn't recommend buying from that company, it does mean that maybe I'm not going to return the pole. And like any good YouTuber, I decided to do some research on YouTube videos about glue. So after watching Project Farm's videos, you got a guy right here and then the chart over here. Essentially, this one is the one that is the top rated. He said he didn't recommend anything. He just said look at the data and decide for yourself. But that comes in a smaller formula, which is this guy right here. So this is the one that I'm going to be having as a backup. I'm not going to start with this because this is like the extreme. I'm trying to decide between the marine weld and the clear weld, and they're looking pretty similar. So I think I'm just going to go with the clear weld at this point because it dries clear and everything else looks the same as far as like the stuff that it works on. So hopefully that works. It doesn't have as strong as a UV rating, but this thing's going to be under the cap, so not a big deal. All right, so we're going to run these tests. And that brings us to this moment. This is the Braveheart pole. And when you really look at this, I wanted to show this because it looks so similar, okay? And I mean, like, it just, if you were to tell me that these are different, I would have a really hard time believing you, okay? And I think for the most part, they aren't. Like, as we look at every bit of the construction, I'm going to pull this off. Also, side question, if you are someone who does this kind of stuff, if you have any recommendations for little baby tripods, this sucker is the one from Manfrotto, and it's not bad, and it does extend out, so it works okay for this big guy. But the problem is this part right here is just a little bit, I don't know. It's just not as sturdy as I would like it to be. It's where this connects right there. So not a bad thing, but it's definitely something that could be improved. So what happens is, like, you've got a little bit of wiggle even in this area, and I would like to maybe avoid that. But for now, it's all I have. That it works the best of anything that I have. So we're going to stick with it. All right. Now, this is the part that's the issue. I'm out on the run with this little guy, and I've got the cap back in there right now. But if I pull this off, you're going to see I was pulling it out. The camera was there. I'm grabbing here. My finger slipped, and I caught this, and it just popped off. Okay? Like that. And the camera just flew. I just watched it go off into the air, and then, oh man, it was terrible. And if you want to see, actually, the camera, look at this. The camera is just, that's the only damage. And I had the full mic 2 on here, off to the side on this section right here. And like nothing else got damaged. The lenses didn't even get like, I couldn't believe it. I just knew that these lens guards were gone, and then they weren't gone. They were still alive. So that was kind of incredible. I'm going to run these tests mainly because if anybody else out there has bought it and it's broken and they can't return it, I figured, you know what if we can find a solution that other people could benefit from? And that's what we're going to do. All right, quick setting multi. So this stuff actually smells super strong, by the way, and I decided to wipe off all the excess resin around the edge there. So hopefully this will not impact the function of this little guy. And I'll let you know. It says it takes like 5 minutes to... Oops, I did not mean to do that. Shoot. Oh, man. Make sure that that's all the way in. Yeah. It says it takes 5 minutes to set and cures in 1 hour. So we should have an update pretty quickly here. And then I'm going to run some tests. I'm going to hook this guy back into there and yank on some stuff and see how much force it takes. Dang it, I did it again. It's a habit. So I let this guy cure for 2 hours, and then I took him out, and I tried to pull off this tip right here, right? Just tried to rip it off, and I could not get it to come off, which is good. So then I wedged it in between a chair, essentially, and pulled with both arms, and with a good amount of force, it popped right off again. Now, I gotta say that I was pulling pretty hard, and I probably wouldn't do that, but when it popped off, looking at this area, I saw that the resin hadn't really hardened. It was still kind of gummy and gooey. And so then I looked at the instructions again, and I think there were 2 issues. One, you're supposed to mix the resin for a minute, and I definitely didn't do that, like thoroughly mixing for a minute. 2, if it's cooler in a cooler environment, like an air-conditioned room, which is where this was curing, it takes longer. So I did it again, thorough mixing, carefully adding a bunch more inside, and then I let this sucker cure for 24 hours. And now I definitely can't get it off. I pulled as hard as I can. I tied a 30-pound weight to it. You can see that guy swinging on the side there. I swung it back and forth. I yanked it up and down. All good. Everything worked out. So what I can say is now I can confidently use this guy, but that's because of this JB Weld, Clear Weld, quick drying epoxy. And this is not an endorsement of their company. This is not a promotion of the company, but it is the solution that worked for me. I'm just a guy trying to do DIY, and if this helps you, then that's awesome. Now, why did I even get this one? There were 2 reasons. One, it was cheaper, 20 bucks. I wanted to see how that went. And 2, I have an issue with this one. You see, I screwed into the bottom, which is normal. That's how you do it. You put the little stuff in there. But when I did that, something popped loose. And I get this all the time when I'm running and filming. This little metal janky thing. And I've tried to like figure out how to fix that in there, and I don't know what the solution is, but it's in there. And that's kind of annoying. So I was like, you know what? I'd love to have one that doesn't make all that noise. This is a cheaper option. I'll do a comparison, all that good stuff. After thoroughly comparing these 2, like I've examined these extensively, I cannot find a production difference between them. Like, I've looked at all of the stuff. You can look at the way that the stuff is connected. You can look at like the way that all of this stuff is done. I mean, it is basically an exact copy. And I think the only difference is the glue. What I've noticed is where their caps go in, I don't know if you can really tell, the glue is not as thoroughly done. It's kind of dried out, maybe a little bit cracking. And so I think they are using, maybe, I could be wrong, a lower quality glue, or I just got a bad example. I got a defected product, and so maybe the rest of them aren't going to have this issue. Either way, I do think that just for $20 more, the Insta360 one is probably worth the investment just because you have a little bit of a peace of mind, and if they do have a product issue, I think it'll be easier to reach out to them than this random Amazon copy, okay? So I'll keep using this for a while. I will say, like, I know some people that have done Amazon dropshipping businesses, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of just standard copying, and it's just rebranding, and it's the exact same production, exact same molds, exact same quality. You just put a new name on it. And so that's why I was a little bit more interested in checking this out, because I know that that's a common practice, and I figured this was that same idea. It's just, this is just a brand that's creating a brand, and this is another brand that's creating a brand using the same manufacturing facilities. And I actually do think that is the case. It's just, I think I just got an off thing here. / sometimes these brands do have lower quality control. Insta360 might do a better job of quality control in their final stuff. So even though there are defects at the same level, they remove those. I don't know. These are just my thoughts, but I hope that it helps you. I am very confident in using this now, and I'm very excited about having not only a green one, which is nice, but also just one that doesn't make the janky sound. if this helped you, could you please like the video? Consider subscribing, because I'm going to keep delivering this kind of content, comparisons, helpful reviews that are going to give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. And if you're still watching at this point, then you're probably the kind of person that I'd love to help anyway. So you should come check out the community. We got a great community, thebetterbuy.com, and it's just a bunch of people that enjoy stuff like this and having fun and talking about it and using it and making videos. So come check it out. Hope you have a great day. Keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next one.
What they say